Good morning, everyone. I am Sarah Simon. I'm coming to you from Appleton, Wisconsin, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Thank you for all of you who have hopped on already. I'm just a couple of minutes early, believe it or not. I didn't think I would be early. Actually, no, I'm not. It's 8:30 exactly. So, good morning, Kelly. Looks like we have Denise and Aunt Dorothy, good morning, and Carol Thompson, good morning. I'm so glad that you joined me this morning. Thank you to all of you who filled out my little survey asking, good morning, Mary and Betty on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for filling out what you were interested in seeing today. What I ended up with is we will do two masculine cards. One of them will be our SIP card, stamp, ink, and paper only, no die cutting machine. And then the other one will be a little bit stepped up. Both of them are fun folds. And then we will do a Valentine's, a 3D Valentine. It's going to be a little matchbox. It's a Matchbox box, and it's a pretty nice sized one so that you could put a gift card in it along with some candy and other things. Good morning, Lisa and Aline and Amanda. Thanks so much for joining me. So let's start with some happy mail. I received this beautiful card yesterday. I think it was yesterday from one of my downlines, Mary. And she was thanking me for letting her come to my card class. Well, I'm so glad you came to my card class, Mary, and that she loves spending time with me and Lila. Lila's sitting right next to me today. She's actually being a really good little girl. So thank you so much for that, Mary. And she's got a nice decorated envelope. And then we have some prizes to give away. I'm going to turn one of these lights off because it's kind of flickering again. Last week, we made this card. Super simple. This was our SIP card, stamp, ink, and paper. We did use a punch, but you wouldn't have to use a punch. You could fussy cut that out. We also did this Joyfold card with this, I think it's Seaside Babe, Bayside. I think it's Seaside Babe. I should know the names of them. And then everyone had wanted me to do a card with the lantern with lighting the way. So I did this. I looked at some of your comments afterwards, and Karen Roofing, I don't know if you're on here this morning or not, but she made a suggestion. She said, instead of cutting out the stuff that's really like dainty and fragile, why don't you cut out the big stuff and put that over the top of the green one? Brilliant idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that when I was doing it. I put the green over the copper, and I could have put the copper right over the green, and it probably would have been easier. So great idea, Karen. Okay, so receiving these for making a comment. So every time you comment, your name gets put into a drawing. I randomly select a number. You all get assigned a number, and I randomly select a number on the computer. And getting it this time is Amanda Shabo. So, Amanda, I will get these off in the mail to you to be able to use or be able to keep as some samples. And then for sharing, so if you hit the share button and you share either on your Facebook page, or if you share on just share it with somebody that you know in a message, you also get your name into a drawing. And so receiving a pack, this is 3 spools of baker's twine. It is garden green, coastal cabana, and pumpkin pie, such fun colors for spring, is Mary Linsmeyer. So thank you, Mary, for sharing, and all of the others who shared. Oh, Denise, you're preparing, you're getting ready for your students' first reconciliation. That's so, yeah, I had a little boy that the other day, he said to me, Miss Simon, he said, I'm making my first reconciliation tomorrow. And I said to him, are you excited? And he said, kind of. I said, are you also nervous? And he said, yeah, a little bit. And I said, you know what? You're going to feel so good when it's done. And it was so cute. He was so excited to tell me, but he also wasn't completely excited about making it. He was a little bit nervous too, so it was so fun. All right, next prize. Anytime you place an order, your name also gets put into a drawing and receiving this occasionally funny, I love this stamp set. Congratulations on your new reasons to wake up in the morning every single morning, baby. I know your real age. Good thing we're friends and a happy birthday. Cheers to more years of asking your spouse, what's the password again? That one's perfect for my mom and dad. Happy anniversary. You did it, graduate. You is smart now too. Hooray. So those are kind of funny. So placing an order last week, so there were several people that placed order, but winning the drawing is Marla Reichman. So Marla, I will get this off in the mail to you. So congratulations to all of our winners, and thank you to all of you who support this little business of mine that I'm running. So anyhow, just a reminder, celebration, we're almost to the end of the first month, and February is a short month, so we only have one more month left. So if there was anything that you still wanted in that celebration catalog, you have a very short period of time to get it. I am guessing that some of the stuff is going to start to be not available. And so if there's something you want, I would rather get it now rather than waiting, because chances are, and I have not even looked this week. This week has been a kind of a blur for me. So I did not even look to see if anything is unavailable. I don't think it is, but don't quote me on that one because I haven't had a chance to look. This upcoming week is probably going to be even more of a blur because we have Catholic Schools Week, and I've got activities going on at all different levels at all times of the day. I'm going to be running. Hopefully we won't have a lot of snow. Friday was not fun having to go between campuses. All right, are you ready to get stamping? Because I am. Let's go ahead and go to my phone, and let's hope we don't get disconnected today. The first card that we are going to make is, and again, I do not have my dimensions typed out yet. I will be typing them out. It was a matter of, do I want to go to bed at like 11 o'clock or do I want to type them and stay up later? And it's kind of been a late night every night this week. And so I opted to go to bed, and I will stamp these up later. So Legendary Ride is going to be our first card that we make, masculine card that we make. This one has some really cool dies, and I will show you some cards that are made with the dies afterwards. Jay Shante, I don't know if Jay's on here today or not. She sometimes watches, but Jay did a display at that event that I went to, and she did a wonderful job. And so I'm going to share with you some of her beautiful cards that she made. But today we're not going to be using the dies because I really wanted this to be my SIP card. That means stamps, ink, and paper only. All right. Well, Lila's scratching over here. That's not uncommon for her. All right. So we are going to have 2 pieces of basic black. Both of these are 5.5 by 4.25. So it's a quarter sheet of paper. And one of them I scored on the 5.5 side. I scored it at 2 3/4 inches. Okay. Because again, this is going to be a little bit of a fun fold. So that's our basic black. We have some pumpkin pie, and these each measure 2.5 inches. Lisa J's display was totally inspiring. 2.5 by 4 inches is this pumpkin pie. I have a layer of basic gray that is 4 by 5.5 inches. And then we have some DSP, and I chose a DSP where I could use both sides of the paper. So we're going to see both sides of this paper, both this pumpkin pie side and these little tire tracks. Okay, so this measures 5.5 by 5.5, so it's a square. So if you had a 6 by 6 paper and you wanted to use this fold, it would be really, really easy to do. You would just have to cut off a 1/2 inch on 2 of the sides and then score one of the sides at 1 3/4. Now, I had to be careful. Whoops, I got disconnected. Just hang tight. Sorry. I'm getting there. Might have to take it out. Let's see. All right, I'm working on it. It's not allowing me to accept my camera. Let me go out of this and let me go back in and see if that helps. Sorry, ladies. Technology is so great when it works, and right now it's not cooperating. There we go. Allow. Flip it, and we'll do that. There we go. Do that. There we go. Holy cow. I gotta get it back in my display here. All right, I want to make sure. Are you hearing an echo? You're hearing an echo. Let me know. I think I still have the volume off. Two mics. There we go. Thank you. All right. I think we're good now. Holy cow. Craziness all the time, right? Let me see if I can get this to be a little bit straighter. There we go. Okay, I think I was talking about when the camera so rudely disconnected me. If you have a pattern and you want it to go, so I wanted this to go, so it was a landscape mode. So I wanted my tire tracks to be going in this direction. So I made sure that I scored on this side and not on this side. Because if I had scored on this side, my tire tracks would have been in the wrong direction. Okay, so I wanted it to go this way. So this is 5.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 1 3/4. And then I have 2 pieces of basic white, and it's each 2 3/8 by 3 7/8, right? And I have an envelope that we're going to decorate at the end as well. I'm going to start with my stamping, and then we'll work on putting all of these pieces together. I'm going to save all of these because then I don't have to remeasure them all to be able to get the measurements. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my stamps in. I also have a basic black dark marker or Stampin' Blend. I'm going to use some Memento and some pumpkin pie. All right, so I'm going to take each of these we're going to be stamping on. Let me grab something to put them on so that I don't create a mess here. I'm going to put my stamps over to the side here a little bit. All right, let's start with our front of our card. So there is a really big motorcycle. However, and I'm a little bit crooked here. Let me try to straighten out here a little bit. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. There is a little bit bigger motorcycle. However, it was a little bit big for this design. And so what I did was I used the smaller of the two. Now there are dies that can cut both of those motorcycles out if you wanted to cut them out. However, I wanted this to be a real simple kind of basic card. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp this motorcycle. And I'm going to let the ink kind of soak into the paper a little bit. Now, if you wanted to, you could put this on a Stamparatus. If you wanted to maybe give it a couple of coats to make sure you got a really good image, but I'm pretty happy with the image that I have there. I'm going to use my pumpkin pie, and I'm going to stamp, "You are legendary." Don't you just love that? I love that. Okay, now I'm going to get this out of the way. I'm going to take my Stampin' Blend. I am going to take the brush tip rather than the bullet tip, and I'm going to take my bone folder. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tap on here and just add, it was just too stark white for me. So I'm just going to add some little speckles to that so it's not as stark white. I don't know if you can see that real well. All right, then let's take our other piece. This is going to be for the inside of our card. And I'm just going to say, "Right on, it's your birthday." And again, You could put this on the Stamparatus if you wanted to be able to give it a couple of coats to make sure it's nice and dark and black. You could also use some StazOn if you wanted to. Sometimes StazOn can be just a little bit darker than our Memento. I'm pretty happy with that. And again, I'm going to bring in, I want to get a little of that pumpkin pie in here. So there's these little flame things. And I'm just going to put that on either side of the Ride On, It's Your Birthday. Fun. All right, especially if you have someone in your family that is really big into motorcycles. My second one, I'm going to do a little bit different because we have guys that are interested in a variety of different things. So I wanted to give you a variety of different manly cards today. All right, let's take these. Let me take all of these and put them together. Because let me tell you, when I went to go type up my directions, I had Post-it notes everywhere and I had to put them all together. So I'm going to keep these all stacked together so I know they all go together with this card. You know what? I want to bring this envelope out here. Let's do this while I'm thinking of it. And let's take that little flame. I think that's what that is supposed to be. And let's, do I want multiple ones? I think I just want, I don't know if I like the two of them there, but we'll just leave it. I maybe would have just put one, or I was thinking about running them up the side here, but maybe just one would have been better. Sometimes I do things and I'm like, why did I just do that? I should have just left it alone. All right, let's put this together. So both of these pieces that we stamped are just 1/8 of an inch smaller than these pumpkin pie pieces. So we are just going to layer those on top of there. I haven't used my glue yet this morning, so hopefully I don't have any glue. There we go. Just had a really tiny one from last night. As of last night, I didn't have anything made yet. I was going to do this on Thursday. Thursday. I was going to go to my niece's basketball game and then come back and at least get one of the cards started. And I ended up having the worst headache. And I ended up taking some Tylenol when I got home. I fell asleep in my recliner at about maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock. And I woke up and I had a message from my mom. How are you doing? Because they were at the game and I wasn't there. So she wanted to make sure everything was okay. I don't know where my bone folder went. It's not sitting in my little caddy that holds it. So I'm just going to try to fold this really well myself. Anyhow, when I woke up from that little nap, the headache was gone and I was so happy. By that time it was 9 o'clock and I'm like, you know what? Maybe it'll just be better if I go to bed and I'll be fresh tomorrow after school when I can make these. Catch up on comments. Good morning, Sarah. Okay. So looking at some of the other ones, I did have an echo and now I don't. I know I had it turned on. There we go. Okay, so we've got Ride On, It's Your Birthday, and You Are Legendary. Now let's put this part together here. So I am going to layer this onto this basic gray because there was basic gray in the bottom portion of that paper. And there's just basically 1/8 of an inch. It's just 1/4 of an inch bigger than the piece when it's folded. So I'm just going to go ahead and center that top and bottom, and it should go all the way out to the right and left because each one of these is 5.5. Okay, and then same thing with this one. This is just 1/4 of an inch bigger, so there's going to be a little 1/8 of an inch on the top and on the bottom. And it looks like this piece is maybe a little bit shorter than it's supposed to be. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of trimming. But I can do that once I have this on. So I'm going to just line up one side all the way to the edge and line it up top and bottom. And then I don't know if you can see that, but can you see how there's a little bit of gray hanging off the edge? So I'm just going to turn this over. I'm going to take my paper snips. And the reason I turn it over is so that I can see what's hanging over and I can easily trim just that little bit off so that they match up. Okay, so now it's flush against that black. Right, this is going to pop in here kind of like our Joy Fold. It's a little bit different than the Joy Fold because our paper is what is actually folding up, down, I should say, underneath the inside piece. So I'm going to go ahead and line this up. And I did have a card that someone had made that I didn't copy it, the fold completely, because I added an extra layer and I did a couple of other things that were different than the person's card that I received in a swap. But I kind of had the idea of folding the paper like this. Her card actually went this way and opened that way. I decided to flip it this way, and I added that extra piece of gray that she did not have in her card. All right. Now, a lot of times we don't like to add any bling to our masculine cards. However, this bling is something that I think they would like. I thought that these silver little dots almost look like little screws. And what I decided to do is to try to make it look like I had sort of screwed this little top piece onto their card. So I just took these and I put one of them in each of the corners rather than having 3 of them and kind of doing them random. I made these a little bit more intentional so that it almost looked like this was a little sign that was kind of screwed onto the front of the card. So there is our You Are Legendary, right on, it's your birthday, masculine card number 1. No dies needed. No big shot, no embossing. You could have stepped this up a lot, but I wanted this first one to be my stamp, ink, and paper only card for those of you that maybe don't have a big shot or just getting into stamping. Let me show you some of the phenomenal cards that I have. So this one I made at that stamping event that I was at. So this uses the die cut of that motorcycle. Again, You Are Legendary. I think I ripped my paper here because I was trying to glue that on. This one is done by the wonderful Jay Shante, and I don't know if you can see that embossing folder back there. That is, I think it's called Metal something. It is really a cool embossing folder. This is part of the paper that she cut out. This is that same paper that we just used just on one side. Here she used that same stamp we did, but she cut it out and used one of the other Classic Authentic You. And then you open it up. Whoops, I'm out of the camera, sorry. You open it up just like that. All right, another fun fold. Here is another one of her cards. This one I did for my card buffet last week. And again, it has that folder, that embossing folder in the center. This is the little flame that's off to the side. And I added the little right on, it's your birthday, along with the flames on the bottom. This one is the bigger motorcycle. It faces in the other direction as the one that we used. Here are some of those gems that are in diamond shape. And this is some of that twine that, who won that? Mary Linsmeyer, I think, won that twine. Here's a different color in the, this is Starry Sky. And Dad, you're the coolest for a Father's Day card. Here's the paper we used along with some other paper. And then look at this for the ladies that ride. Okay, this is Petal Pink. And she used some of the two-tone floral, or the Flora paper in there as part of her motorcycle. And this is part of the paper, and she cut that rose out, and then the happy birthday. Used the embossing folder on some of our metallic paper. She just knocked it out of the park with this set. So those are some other cards using this wonderful Legendary Ride, I think it's called. Yep, Legendary Ride. So that's our first card, masculine card. All right, let me clear things up here. And let me grab my next container. Oh, goodness. So this is also going to be a masculine card, and this is going to feature another thing that a guy might be into. And yeah, those dots do look masculine, Amir. They kind of look like nails or little screws or whatever. It's kind of cool. All right. Next is a fun fold as well. And this is going to be for our outdoorsmen and maybe someone who likes to work out a little bit as well. Okay, we are going to be using the stamp set Greatest Journey, and the paper that goes with this, you'll see some of it, is absolutely phenomenal. It has mountains and starry skies and all kinds of things. The dies that go with it have this little tent, this bicyclist, a hiker, a jogger, some clouds, a moon. I think there's a moon in there. Yeah, right there's the moon. There's all kinds of really, really cool dies to go along with this stamp set. So this is the one we're going to be using for this card. All right, we are going to be using some garden green. I'm going to start with that. Garden green's not a color that I use all that often other than at Christmas. I'm sorry for the smearing here. So this is 8 inches by 5.5. And I scored this at 1 and 2 and 5 inches. This is 3 1/4 by 8.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. We're doing a faux, I think it's called a side step or center step card. It kind of is going to be in the center. So I think it's called center step. And it's going to be one of them that's landscape rather than portrait. All right. I have some Coastal Cabana to go with my garden green, not a set of colors that I would normally put together. I got this inspiration from a card that I received, and I just changed it up a little bit. Each of these are 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. I also have a piece of Coastal Cabana that measures 3 by 4. And I have some of this Designer Series paper. Look at this. So this is where I got my color combination. Can you see the Coastal Cabana in the sky and then the garden green in the mountains? And so this measures 5 1/8 by 2 5/8. And I have a piece of basic white that measures that exact same measurement. That's going to be for our inside. I have some basic black that's 7/8 of an inch by 5 3/8. I have another piece of that designer paper. This is going to be for the center. That measures 2 7/8 by 3 7/8. And then I have a little strip for the inside that's 1/2 by 5 1/8. Okay, so those are all of my dimensions, which I'm going to pull those off and keep those all together so that when I type this up, I don't have to try to figure out what the sizes are and have to take my ruler out and measure everything again. All right, so that's one card all together. I'm going to put it in that bucket so I know where it is. All right, let's go ahead. We have very, very, very little stamping to do. This one is going to be using more of the dies. We are going to take this center piece right here, and we're just going to stamp a greeting on it. We're going to let the paper and some of the dies do all of the work on this one. So this reads, "I'm so inspired by your courage." Whoops. I want to make sure I get enough on there, and I'm just going to put that right up. Oh, I should have had, I have my foam mat here, and I forgot to grab it out, and I just rocked. Oh, I did pretty good. Okay, I'm so inspired by your courage. So this might be for someone who's going through something difficult at the time, and you want to tell them how much what they're going through, how they're handling that adversity is inspiring you. All right, I have a little cloud that I cut out, and I also have this, I'm going to put it on white so you can see it, this little jogger. Okay, like I said, I'm just basically taking a card that I received and I am redoing it a little. And I'm going to, let me see if I can find, I have a set of trees that I had blocked up. I don't see them there. I was thinking for my envelope, but I don't see those trees right now. I might have taken them off of the block and put them back in the case. So I might not have anything for the envelope. I actually have two clouds in here because I didn't know. I haven't completely made this card. I'm going to confess to you. I made a different one. And then after I made it, I'm like, I don't want to do that because it's the bicycle one. And I just did a motorcycle card. And I'm like, I have to do something a little bit different so they're not all the same. All right, let's go ahead and bring our pieces in here and we're going to put all of this together. So this section right here is going to fold so that these two fold in half. And then this is going to fold the opposite way and we're going to do like a little Z fold. So it's going to like kind of be an accordion fold here in the front and then it folds in half on the next section. All right, I'm going to take this longer piece of the mountains and I'm going to attach that to one of the Coastal Cabana pieces. Look at that pink on the back. Believe it or not, some of the paper in here has like pink and orange skies. So some of the back is in like pink colors. But like when you have the jogger or you have the mountains and stuff like that, it doesn't have to just be masculine. It can be feminine as well, depending on who you are creating the card for. Right, I'm going to add just a little bit of this designer paper. It's just very plain, but it has the blue hue as well as kind of that. Can you kind of see the pink is kind of coming up here in the sky as well? So there's a little bit of that as well in here. So I'm going to go ahead and just line that across the bottom, but this is going to be the space where I can write a message to the person. This is going to be on the inside of my card. And you know what? I got to trim just a little bit off here. There we go. My camera feels like it's closer to me today. I keep getting out of the camera in the opposite direction I normally do. So I don't know what I did with it, but I had to take it off the other day to get into my drawer. And I was like, I must have put it back differently than it was before. Okay, and this is going to be layered on there. And what I'm going to do is I have a little, I thought I had a little 1/2 inch piece. Here it is. It fell out. So this is just like about, I think it's even less than 1/2 inch, and it's the same length. So whatever this was, let me think real quick. This I think would be 2 7/8, maybe. I think it's 2 7/8. And this is just going to go along the bottom here. You'll see why in just a second. All right. And now let's start to put this on our card. So this piece with the mountains and nothing else on it is going to go in this section right here. We will be seeing parts of that. We'll see parts on the right and on the left of it. This is going to be on the inside of our card for us to write a message. Oops, what do we have? The jogger went flying when you picked up the small strip. Oh, here he is. Yeah, thank you. Thanks you guys for letting me know. I would have probably been going, where in the world is he? because he was right down here, right by my sweatshirt. So I think my sweatshirt caught him. All right. And then this black layer, because we put the black along the bottom here, I decided to just layer this bottom with black. I'll show you what I did on a different card, the one that I made with the bike. Before I was like, oh, I shouldn't do a motorcycle and a bike. That might be like too in common. So let's try to do something that would be a masculine idea besides that. Okay, then this piece is going to be layered from the front. You're going to kind of center it right and left. And then it's also going to attach on the back. So remember when we used to make these a long time ago, you would have to like cut and score at all these weird places. It really makes this a lot easier and not having to do that. We just had to cut and score a couple of little pieces of paper instead of taking that one big piece and trying to figure out, I have to score between these two lines and I have to cut between these two score lines. And it just made it really, really complicated. Now I'm just putting a little bit of glue here and I'm putting a little bit of glue on the other end. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the front. And you could use tear and tape if you like tear and tape. I like liquid glue because it gives me a little bit of time if I don't feel like I have something centered to go ahead and center it. And then just kind of fold it back here as well. I think I have that centered pretty well. Okay, so it's going to stand up like that. And then this piece is going to go in the center of that. Yeah, someone said that they loved the greetings and the fact that it could be masculine or feminine. I agree 100%. Okay, this little jogger is going to go here. And I think I just need a little cloud. I don't think I need, I think this big one's going to be too big. I cut both of them because I didn't know. Yeah, that's going to be too big unless I have it so it just comes off and I trim it a little bit. Maybe I can have this one go behind it like that. And then this one come off a little bit and then have our jogger. Maybe I'll do that. I think I like how that looks. All right, so let's go ahead and let's put this one down with glue. That's about where I had it. Let's figure out where I have to cut this one off. Right about there. Let's pop that one up with a dimensional. Like that. Ooh. And let's take our little jogger, and I have some black mini dimensionals. Let's go ahead. I'm going to cut some of these in half and raise him up with a dimensional as well. Now, this does kind of look like a male jogger. So as much as you would say, oh, I could do that for a female, I don't know what you could do to make it look a little bit more like a female jogger. I don't know if you could somehow add a ponytail to the back. Whoops. I took the whole thing off. There we go. With it being a black dimensional, it kind of blends a little bit better with the paper. There we go. I'm so inspired by your courage. And then there's a place on the inside for me to write a greeting. Now, if you wanted to, you could wrap some of that twine Let me do that. I didn't bring it here, but I have it. I think I have it handy. Here we go. See, I didn't have this one done ahead of time. And you maybe would have wanted to have wrapped this before you put that bottom layer on there, but then it might not have laid as well. Let's see if we want this coming across here. We can always take it off. We don't have to keep it on. Let's tie it, see what we think. Twine is something that I think either the twine or the linen thread can be something that looks a little bit more masculine. Okay. Yes, no. What do you think? Keep the twine, take the twine off. I'm going to show you the cards. Okay, so this is the card that I made originally that I was going to do. But see how it has the bike on it? And we already just did a motorcycle. So this one says Mountain of Thanks. These are some trees that were in there that I cut to put on either side rather than, and I didn't finish the inside because after I got it done, I'm like, why did I do that one? Why didn't I do the jogger? And I think the reason I didn't originally do the jogger is this was a card that I received. So this is what I kind of made that one off of. I received this, Jeanette maybe. I think it was Jeanette Swain, I think made these. I took them out of the bag, and if they didn't have stickers on, the stickers kind of got taken off. So I'm so inspired by your courage. So that was what I got, and I just kind of upped it a little bit by making it a fun fold and adding the I'm so inspired by your courage kind of up in the sky more rather than in the mountains. All right, this is that same set, a little bit more feminine. It has these flowers in it and some of the twine. Okay, I've got a couple people that said they like it simple without the twine. Yeah, Becky missed the motorcycle card. Here it is. That was the motorcycle card that I made. All right, here's another one that she made with the bike. Wishing you joy in this next adventure. Okay, and then here is another one. I think these were all Jeanette from a swap that I was in. Look at that tent, isn't that fun? Okay, and those trees again. And then here's You Belong Among the Stars. Look at how she put a little color behind that lantern. And then there are these little directional kind of stickers that are in there. And then there's this one, Mountains of Thanks. Again, look at, this is a mountain die that's in there, and there's like a little walking stick that you can put with the person, and then these little stickers. Okay, so those are the things. I've got one person that said that they didn't, no twine, no twine. Okay, let's take the twine off because I agree. I kind of don't like it with the twine on. I kind of like it just simple like that. All right, so that is our card number 2. And I didn't put any paper in here to put on the envelope, and there really aren't any stamps that I have right now. So I will decorate up the envelope for whoever receives it. I just don't have anything right here right now. Okay, so that is our Enjoy the Journey, or Greatest Journey, I should say, stamp set. All right, let's clear things out here and let's get ready for our 3D Valentine. Now, I made 2 of these and I sent a picture to my mom and I said, which one do you like better? And she liked the one that I didn't pick, so I went ahead and I picked the one that she liked better. So this one is my mom's favorite, and if you like the other one is your favorite, it just goes to show how everyone can have difference of a taste. All right, we are going to be making a matchbook box, and so I have all my pieces here. I have all the pieces to make both boxes because I picked the other box. It's so funny. So this is going to be our cover. And this you need designer series paper that measures 5 1/8 by 10 inches. And I scored this at 2 inches, at 3 inches, at 6 1/4, and at 7 1/4 inches. Now, if you have paper, like I wanted my box to stand up this way, I should go like this. I wanted the hearts to be the long way. If you want your box to go the other way, you would just have to cut your paper so that this is the 5 1/8 is with the hearts being the correct way. You would have to have it be the 5 1/8. The hearts would have to be going the opposite direction. So if you have directional paper, you just have to be careful of that, which way you cut it. I wanted it to go this tall way because I wanted to put a longer tag here. And if I went this way, the tag kind of hung off the side of it. So I decided I wanted it this way. My box base is 5 1/4 inches by 7 inches, and I scored it at 1 inch on all 4 sides. I have some of this soft, what is it called? Soft sorbet, sweet sorbet gingham paper, and this measures 4 7/8 by 3 1/8, and that's going to be for the inside of our box, so that when you open it up, there's a little bit of a hello on the inside as well. All right, we're going to be also using some of this designer series paper that goes with that. We're going to use our punch, and I'll show you how our punch can punch that out. And then this is from our sentiments, what's it called? The dies that go with it, the tags that go with it. This is a separate die that you can put in the center so that you can give a little opening to put your ribbon in. And we're going to be decorating that tag up. All right, let's go to work on putting our box together. This actually is something that you could make rather quickly. Okay, so I'm going to take, and I'm going to have to grab my bone folder from my other station. I'm going to go ahead and cut up on the score line, up to the other score line on both sides here. And I'm going to do that on the other side as well. Some people like to kind of go around in a pinwheel-like motion with that. I like to just make tabs. So I'm going to go ahead and miter this in a little bit, just trim a little bit off to create a little tab. It folds in a little bit better, and I just think it's easier to put the box together if I make this little tab rather than trying to fold it as a complete square. It's like there's too much cardstock there. It needs just this little bit cut off. Okay. Let's get these little scraps out of here. And let me grab my bone folder from my other workstation where I stand up and stamp. Here we go. And I'm just going to fold this in and make sure it gets a good burnish. And I'm using thick white cardstock because of this being a box. I wanted it nice and sturdy. You could use colored. I'll show you the other one that I made. It has a colored base rather than white. And we'll fold this up. And we'll fold those in. Okay, now to put our box together, before we put it together, actually, I am going to tape this down or glue this down on the inside, because it's easier for me to glue it right now than have to work around the box that's already put together. So if you want to line the inside of it with a little bit of designer paper, you should, I find it easier to put this down now rather than having to put it down after it's all put together. I also find that if I want to put things on the side of the box, like if I wanted to put some paper here, you could. I opted not to. I opted just to keep this white because it kind of went with the white hearts that were in here. If you wanted to do it, I do it now as well, only because I can press down on it right now. When it's up like this, it's harder to really give it the pressure that it needs to get it to stick nice. So I'm going to go ahead, and you can use liquid glue or you could use a tear and tape. I like liquid glue because it gives me a little bit of time for it before it sets, but you do have to then hold it, and you want this cut edge to come right to where your scored edge is to square up your corners. It's so easy to make a box, and you could make the box whatever side you want. Good morning, Marcia from Texas. Hello, Sue from Ohio. Thanks for joining us. Sometimes when I get working, I don't see all the comments, so I apologize if I missed your hello when you jumped on. I was right in the middle of something. All right, and then we will pop this in here. Whoops, see how I slid that a little bit? Want to make sure that the cut edge goes right to that. All right, so there is our box. Easy peasy, right? Now this is going to be, it's going to be a matchbook. So it basically is just going to slide. We're going to make just a cover for it to slide, just like when you had a match, like when you get those boxes of matches and you just pull them out. That's basically what this is. It's a little box that has a little cover that's going to slide. Now I like to create it, or I like to glue it with it on here, so that I can kind of make sure that I'm matching everything up. I don't want it to be too tight because I have to pull it out. So once I have this set here, I usually put some glue on this end and on the end that's going to be coming on top of it. And I fold this over and I'm lining it up along the bottom and along the top so that I don't have anything hanging over, that they line up so that it's straight. And then I just give that a good press and I hold it for a while and I have my box with the cover, and this just pulls out. Pretty easy. Now, this is big enough that you could put a gift card in here. Now, I went to Van de Waals yesterday because I wanted to find something to put inside of here. Look at these cute little chocolate covered Oreos. If you do not go to Van de Waals for Valentine's Day, you're missing out. They have some of the cutest stuff. So they were called little love bugs, is what the thing was called. I'm just gonna pop that in here. I took the receipt off already. I do have a couple of their caramels as well that I'm going to pop in here. So you can see this box is pretty big. Okay, so I've got a couple of Van de Waals caramels. I could line the bottom with a gift card if I wanted to put a gift card. Of course, Dove chocolate hearts are always a plus at Valentine's Day, so I'm going to pop a couple of those in here. Notice how much I'm putting in this box. Now I might be getting a little bit. I don't want it to go any wider than it is. I don't want it to stretch out at all, and I don't want it to go any taller than the 1 inch either. So I think I'm probably good at that without, so that I don't, so that I can still get it into my cover. All right, I'm going to slide that in there. It's a little bit tall, but oh my gosh, it's so cute. All right, so there is my box filled with some goodies. And now we're going to make a tag for the front of this. So I am going to use this paper that's from our country, what's it called? Country Lane. Lisa would know because she had to work with it for a display. And we have Country Bouquet. There we go. Look at that. Country Bouquet, and the name of the stamps or the punch is the same. And this will cut all of these pieces out at once for me. So it's going to cut out those leaves and both of the hearts. Look at that. Fun, fun, fun. All right. I decided that along the bottom, I wanted to stamp my greeting. And the Happy Valentine's Day didn't fit. I probably could have stamped the happy and then the Valentine's and then the day and made it in 3. But I decided I really liked this I love you stamp set, because isn't that what Valentine's Day is all about? Letting people know that they are loved. And it doesn't have to be a romantic love. It could be a friendship love. I love you as a friend. I love you romantically, whatever that might be, or both. All right, we are going to put this heart here, and I'm going to put this heart kind of over the top of that, and then we're going to tuck these little leaves underneath there. that'll look cute like that. And we're going to give it a little bit of Wink of Stella as well. So I am going to start with this heart and I'm going to put some dimensionals on there. And I'm going to kind of keep my dimensionals away from the sides, only because I know I'm going to tuck those leaves in there at the end and I don't want them to be hitting a dimensional. So I'm trying to keep my dimensionals so they're not all the way out at the sides on the bottom of this heart. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that there. Okay, this one I'm just going to take a little bit of this dimensional. I'm going to pop it on the back of here. Actually, before I do that, let's take some Wink of Stella. And you guys can't see this. And you know what? This Wink of Stella is almost on its last leg. Let me see if I can squeeze a little bit. There we go. I like to rub it off on a piece of paper before I put it on my project because there we go. Oh, you should see the Stella that's on here, the shine, the glitter that it gives it. You probably can't see that. I'm going to do that on this heart as well. Okay, and then whoever receives this next week, they will be able to see it. Okay, I'm going to put that there. And then I'm just going to put a little dot of glue on the bottom here and tuck that under. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Just put a dot of glue and tuck that underneath there. Look at that. So pretty. Then for the ribbon, I want to use, since it was red and white, I'm using some of our organdy, glittered organdy ribbon. It's white. And I'm going to just bring that through here. And then there's a combo backpack of ribbon that goes along with this set. Now this is real red, I think, and not sweet sorbet, but it still goes along with it, I think, pretty well. We're going to go ahead and tie this around here. Hopefully I left enough because I really want to do this in a bow and not a knot. I'm going to flip that underneath here and tie that really nice and tight at the top. And then hopefully I have enough here to make a bow. I might have to cut a bigger piece. I might not have cut a big enough piece. Let me cut a bigger piece because I do not want to struggle with this on the camera. I probably could make this work the way I have it. However, it would take me several tries. So I'm going to cut a nice long piece and cut my bow. And I know I'm wasting ribbon this way. But I'm on a camera live and it'll just be so much easier than trying to get my fat fingers to tie a tiny bow on a live camera. This will be much easier. I've got much more ribbon to work with here. Like I said, I could make that one work, but we might still be here next week at this time having me try to get that. Okay, so this is a little bit big, so I'm going to pull in the tails and then pull it nice and tight again. And then you can keep like kind of pulling your tails in if you want it a little smaller than that yet, and then pull it tight again and then just trim that off. There we go. I've got myself a bow and now I want to trim these off a little bit. Okay, and that's just going to go right on the top of there. And I'm going to put that on with some dimensionals. Make sure I put something in the middle so it doesn't sag, the tag doesn't sag in the middle. All right, and then I think I forgot to put, because I changed to this one, I put my gems away. I decided I wanted to use these iridescent pastel gems because this one right here is supposed to be Coastal Cabana, but I think it looks a lot like the Sweet Sorbet when I put it on there. So I'm going to go ahead, or you could use these white ones if you wanted to put it on the red. Let's actually use one of the white ones. And I don't know where I put my take your pick tool after I used it before. It's probably in one of the buckets. I'm just going to use my fingers. We'll put one of those there. We'll put one down here. And how about if we put one up there? Whoops, I got it stuck to my finger now. Okay, so we've got one on the heart. That one's white, and then we've got a couple of red ones. I think I'm going to put this one on this other side because I have the I love you isn't quite centered. There we go. There is our cute little 3D item. So here's the one that I did last night. I forgot to put the gems on that one. This is the other one that I made. Okay, this one uses mint macaron for our base, and then it has some petal pink gingham on the inside. And then I used petal pink, and I used my Tag Punch. This was actually Pool Party ribbon that I used a Stampin' Blend to color it mint macaron. And then I had to fussy cut that heart out. And then that one says Happy Valentine's Day. So I've got two different ones. Which one do you like better? Do you like the red one? Thanks, Mom. Yeah, you do have good taste. So do you like the red one? Do you like the green one? Do you have the same taste as my mom? Do you have a different taste and you like this one with the big heart and the with the floral heart, I should say, with the pink and the green? Or do you like the little hearts with the red and I'm not even trying to put that back in there right now. So I have everything cut because this is the one I was going to make today. Oh, red is your favorite, the red one. Oh, see, Mom, good thing I listened to you because I have this all cut to make another one of the pink and green ones. All the stuff is in here. And I will make that one later because I might be giving a couple of these out. I thought this would be, oh, this one I even put, look at that. I put some of the shreds in there and I didn't put a liner in the bottom of that one, but I have one of those Oreo cookies in there as well. I'm thinking that this would be a really good gift to give my dog sitter. Now she likes cosmic brownies. She's like 21, I think. I would probably maybe put one of those cosmic brownies in here because it's definitely big enough, and maybe a little chocolate heart or something in there. Just a little something to give someone. It could be for a coworker or anything like that. So that's our fun Valentine's 3D treat. Here is our masculine card number 2. Here was our masculine card number 1, which was stamp, ink, and paper only. You didn't need dies. You didn't need a die cutting machine. The paper and the stamp and the ink does all the work for that one. And then here's that. Yeah, Becky, this would really be a really good pillow treat for the people that you room with at Women Celebrate. Speaking of Women Celebrate, I will not be live next week. I am going to be on retreat. I'm going to come back to you here. Let's see. There I am. Okay. I am going to be on retreat next Saturday, but here's what I'm going to do. I am going to work today on a one-sheet wonder because that was the other thing that people said that they were interested in seeing, a one-sheet wonder. I will work on a one-sheet wonder and I will do a video on it and I will schedule it to post at 8:30 next Saturday morning. So you will still get a video from me at 8:30. It won't be as interactive where I can look at your comments and all of that. But I will have all of the dimensions. I will have pictures of the cards that I make. And I'm going to use, I don't know, which do you want me to use? Do you want me to use the dainty design? let me show you your options. Let's see here. I don't think I have one of those here. Let's see. I don't know which one of the. Sorry, here we go. So our options are going to be the Dainty Flowers. That's this one. So I would take one sheet of this. So let's say I would use, I don't think I would use the one that has all the different these things in them because we've already done that. I would probably take something like this where it has this on the front and this on the back. And I would make, usually I make about 6 cards with one sheet. And I'll show you how to do that. Or there's this one, the Favored Flowers, which each of these have a stamp set that go with it. Now these, we made one card already and someone said, oh my gosh, I didn't really like this until I saw the card that you made and the paper isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. You made it look a lot nicer. So I could do that. There is also the farm set. Oops, I got a Favored Flower here one. So the Day at the Farm, which we did do one. I wouldn't be able to use this one because, well, I could, I suppose, but I could use like this with that on the back. You tell me, look at how fun this is. And it's got chicken wire on the back. You tell me which one you think you would like me to use. These are all Celebration products. You tell me which one you would like me to do a one sheet wonder with, or if there's something else that you prefer. If you prefer, oh, my voice has been out of sync with the video. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why that happens. It happens sometimes. You can pick something else if you want. So if you really liked the Rain and Shine, or if you really liked the this paper that we just used, or the Legendary Ride paper, or any of them, let me know. I was kind of thinking Celebration because those are papers that are there. I could also use the Dandy, the one that's for $100, Dandy Design, I think it is. I'm sorry, you guys are probably going, her lips are out of sync. She should stop talking. I will stop talking. All right, you go ahead. Let me know what you're most interested in. I'm going to work on that probably tomorrow afternoon, make a video, and I will have that posted next Saturday for you. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. I'll get off of here because my lips are out of sync, and you guys have a great